Thoughts never spoken, feelings never prices, truth never voiced.
Welcome to the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis, where the rubber meets the road and the unspoken finds its voice. This is more than a podcast. This is a space for the thoughts you've been holding in, the conversation you've been avoiding, the feelings you've been struggling to explain. It's a platform for honesty, a safe place for courage, and voice for those who haven't found theirs yet. Here we don't run from real life.
We face it.
Whether you're calling in to share your story or listening because you're not ready to speak yet, this platform was built for you. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
what's really going on. This is the Unspoken Voices Podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis. I am Chuck Ellis. Good to see y'all. It's been a great week. I'm glad to be here. As a matter of fact, first and foremost, I want to say this. First and foremost, of anything else, I got to thank God for bringing me here today, for giving me health, strength, and a positive mind, a positive thought, and having people around me, having you here, being able to have you here, living and breathing. So before we do anything else, we got to give praise to God for even giving us the life to be able to breathe and do the things that we're doing. So with that, I greet each of you. Welcome, and thank you for coming here to share another day, another moment, another blessing, and another life-altering decision for yourself. Today is my segment. My special segment. This segment is called Heart to Heart with Chuck Ellis. You know, I was thinking about, I had a few comments, and I was thinking about my last segment and even how I initially came on the scene. I came on and I'm like, I'm going to do a podcast, and I have an idea, and I know what I want to do and how I want to format things, but I don't have all the information. So as I thought about that, I'm like, don't nobody really know you, Charles, but the people that know you. So when you bring on a podcast and you just tell them about it, what are you really talking about? So this kind of form for myself is twofold. One, it's an open invitation. So for those who are commenting, and I look at the comment section, you want to come on, you want to be a guest, you got comments, you got certain things to say, even if you got questions, I'm going to answer those questions, because I feel as though that in order for me to get to know you, you have to also get to know me. And for the theme behind my podcast and how things I want to work out, I really can't expect a viewer or someone that I don't know or anybody else. I mean, I have a good aura. Don't get it wrong. I got a good aura. You can talk to me about anything, and that's fine. Not saying that I'm going to give you I'm going to give you some good answers. Don't always go with all my answers, but I'll go with it. However, as I explored this thought, and for the theme of me to be able to open up the platform for individuals to speak about life events, life-altering events as well, trauma, things that you held back in your life that you only really speak about or deal with behind closed doors or in your own thoughts. Well, it's those thoughts that other people can learn from. Like your decisions the decisions that you made in your life and dealing with some of the instances you've been through can actually save a person's life or even help them in navigating the storm. And it don't always have to be a storm. It could be a positive achievement. But even with a positive achievements, certain things come behind that. So you ask yourself, well, Charles or Chuck Ellis, why should I talk to you? Good answer. Good question. You should talk to me because I've been there, done that. I'm no different than the next person. And I like to say that, you have ordinary people that always do extraordinary things. And it's those extraordinary things under unforeseen circumstances that people combat and go through is what helps build your character. It helps get you to the next moment in life. So I would be like remiss if I didn't tell y'all about or let y'all know a scope of the things in my life. I've been through domestic violence on both ends. Don't get it wrong. I don't put myself to be a saint. I understand that in life, sometimes you become a product of your environment. So not only did I go through it, not only did I see it for the major portion of my life, but it affected me to a point where as though it started to come into my relationship and my lifestyle. But thank goodness, life has taught me enough lessons to be able to circumvent that and deal with it. So that's another part about it. Like if you're a male or a female and you've been in a domestically violent situation, volatile, and I'm talking about you could be the one that's creating the act or you be the victim of the act. Because possibly both people are victims, just one more so than the other. It depends on how you look at it. I'm telling the people that's out there, if you create an act, then you can stop it. You can curtail your own actions. You can fix what's broken. And for those who've been victims of it, you don't have to stay in it. And you can heal from it. It's going to take a while, but I understand it. So on that aspect of it, I can tell you that I've been there, I've done that. So I'm a lifestyle expert in it when you talk about that sense. But not only that, in my life, I've been through a lot of hurdles. I'm talking about I've been in the military, United States Marine. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Desert Storm veteran. I've been to the war. So even now, as the Marines and a lot of our soldiers face this war that we're currently involved in, I'm not really going into a lot of politics about it, but my heart goes out to those veterans, those soldiers that's out there fighting, because some people may fight and you don't believe in the cause. But you signed up and now you're following orders. And you may have signed up to put food on the table for your family. Some people signed up out of sheer will. For myself, when I went to Marine Corps, it was a couple type of decisions I had to make. One, I was running amok on the streets of Baltimore, so it kind of saved my life to that point. And two, I heard so much about being able to travel, getting life experiences, and just getting out of your current environment that it was intriguing to me. That was another aspect of it. And a real personal aspect of it is that, I wanted to prove, or I wanted some, I ain't gonna say attention, but I wanted that recognition from my father. My father was a Marine, Vietnam veteran. And, he didn't show us emotions a lot. And sometimes when you grow up and your father don't even say, hey man, I love you. Like really say I love you. Then you always vying for, or you looking for something that's gonna give yourself an affirmation to say, hey dad, look at me. I'm doing okay, or now we have something that we can talk about. So it's those type of things that we deal with, that I'm going to deal with in this form. I want to deal with it with you. I want to deal with it with those individuals that are going through those type of things, even with your own identity. So I've been there. That's a part. That's a part of me. I've also, like I say, you deal with uh different races. You deal with racism. You deal with bigotry. You know, and on the biggest spectrum of things, which y'all may not know, looking at me, I'm like, hey, man, I've been incarcerated. Or I was incarcerated, formerly incarcerated for 13 years. So that means to say that I've been through a lot, and I have a lot of life experiences. So I know what I know. I empathize for what you may know. And this the purpose of the heart to heart, because as I'm opening up, sometimes, sometimes I invite some of you to say, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it. This is going on. I'm having this type of event in my life, and I want to get through it. And you can't always get through it by yourself. And that part really gets me. Okay. All right, check this out. I was out working. Well, working, trying to put some food on the table. Because mind you, understand this, I be trying to have a regular job. I lost my job a couple of weeks ago. I ain't lose it. The company closed down, so I got laid off, right? And well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm a man. I'm not gonna sit down. I'm gonna go try to make a few dollars. But anyway, check it out. And now I think I said this earlier on earlier during the week because I couldn't wait to get on here to tell y'all. So I'm out in I think you call it I'm from Baltimore. Don't test me. I'm from Baltimore. I get it. I can't speak straight. Some words come out real messed up. But y'all get the idea, right? All right, I'll explain it to you. All right, check it out. I was in a rural neighborhood where ain't nothing but like, I don't even know what, cornfields, cows, a lot of land, farming, chickens and stuff, right? Goats, all them type of things. So I'm making a little delivery, right? So as I'm making the delivery, I come across a woman, just a plain old woman, nice personality, everything. Matter of fact, she scared the wits out of me because I pulled up and I was making delivery, but I didn't know she was in a car. But when she got out of the car, she hit the on. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I turned around and she greeted me now. Mind you, and I don't get into a lot of things, but I'm African American, so I'm black, whatever, and she's Caucasian, okay? But these are the lines that life experiences cross, and it don't have a color. It doesn't have a color. And I say this because I'm talking to the young lady, and she maybe about my age, whatever. So I'm talking to her, and I say, hey, you know what? Hey, how you doing? I'm Charles, delivering everything, but you know what? I got a podcast. And I said on my podcast, I said last week we just talked about some the institutionalization of youth and the mental aspect of, the emotional aspect of, and how it affects the children that are institutionalized. And it don't have to be it don't have to be like a correctional facility. It could be foster homes, group homes, things like that. So I was introducing myself and trying to tell her some of what I was doing. It's a regular old conversation, and her whole demeanor changed. When I say her whole demeanor changed, it's hard to describe, but it's like something came out of her. And it was like maybe it was a weight somehow lifted. And I'm like, I'm just describing what I'm doing. And I have a good sense about people. So when I'm talking with her, and I swear it felt like she may have wanted to cry. And I'm like, man, inside I'm like, man, what you going through? Like, for a few words and somebody to just talk and be polite, you're going through something. And I told her, I said, miss, I don't know you like that. I said, but whatever you're going through, it's going to be all right. I said, God going to work it out for you. You just got to keep on, stay strong. He ain't bring you this far to let you go because you're here today. So you just stay in there and you just keep on being positive. And then she wanted to say little things about, hey, I'm going through a little something with my kids, my children. I'm like, well, we all do that. I said, but sometimes, you go through a little more than others. And I said, just take a breath for yourself. Think about it, see what's going on. And we talked a little bit more and everything. And I even told her some of what I was going through, And it was just an open conversation, pure stranger. Okay. And at the end of it, she was like, well, God bless you, man. And I'm gonna pray for you and your family. And I said, thank you very much. And the only reason I said it at that point in time because of this, and I'm not ashamed. Don't get it wrong at all. I'm not ashamed. I'm proud that I love the Lord. I'm proud that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. At the same token, when she said it, and I'm like, because some people when you talk to somebody and you say, hey, praise the Lord, thank you. Everybody they want to get kind of like, oh well, no, it is what it is. And if you don't believe how I believe, whatever, that's fine. I'm gonna respect you because I'm gonna respect you anyway. But getting back to the story, I pull off and I'm driving down the road. And I'm like, dang, Charles, you messed up. I said, what happened? I'm talking to myself now, right? So I'm like, yo, what you do? I'm like, man, you know what you should have did? I'm like, what? I said, bro, you had an opportunity. You should have prayed for her. Matter of fact, you should have prayed with her. And I'm like, really? I'm like, man, you know what I did? I messed up. And it was too late for me to turn around. And so I'm driving. So I finished my route, do whatever I'm doing. And normally I don't have the same location. You don't go to the same places twice in a day or whatever. But come across, guess what happened? Oh yeah. God sent me back out there to her very next day. And I normally don't get them routes. I'm like, I said, today I got this route and I'm praying. I said, I hope she's there today. So Miss Carrie, I'm humbled. I'm humbled that I was able to meet you. So when I went back, I was intentional on my decision. So I went back. Matter of fact, I went back. I'll tell you about that too. I went back and I took this book right here. This book, can y'all see it? Yeah. This is one of my books. I keep this on deck. It's called Beneath My Eyes. It's one of my poetry books. As a matter of fact, it's not even it's the first book of poetry that I've written. But I'm not going to get into that right now. So I take this book because it's a gift. And a lot of this book is what's in me, but I just wanted to be able to give her something, right? So when I get there, she said, hey, how you doing? It's good. And we haven't, good. But Charles, you got to keep in mind, keep it straight. So I get there and I asked him, is it okay if I said, I messed up the last time. I said, but I can't mess up this time. I said, it's okay that I pray with you. And we prayed. And it's like something different happened. I could feel some relief coming from her. That is what this is about. Those type of instances is what this podcast is about. My overall view of the podcast, not just this segment, because this segment is just me and you. But those type of things in my life that happen is what drives me inside the podcast or outside. No, it's not just about the podcast. It's about bringing it to the public because I learned so much and going through everything I've been through. Like I said, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. That's a lot. It's an awful lot. And I was just so intentional about my empathy for the young lady. It's like it made me feel good. So in essence, and then before I left, she said, you know what? You just don't know how much you helped me. And that was the day before, but she said, you just don't know how much that meant to me. And I'm like, man. So I'm driving again. I talked to myself. I'm like, you know what? And I say that God working on me. Me. Chuck Ellis, Charles Ellis, however you want to call me. He working on me because, and I tell you this, who I was yesterday, not it is who I am today, but my mentality has changed. Because I always say this, you can change your thought process and everything, but who you were, you still can be. You just have to think differently, choose differently, make different decisions to get different reactions or get less consequences. So that's a part of me getting to know y'all. I had to express that to y'all, so that way you understand that you have a voice here. You understand that you're welcome here. And I would ask this question. To my audience, for those who are viewing, for those who are commenting. Do I see any comments? Oh, I got to put my glasses on. Let me see. I got these. Let me see. I'll be checking. I don't know. I don't even know if I can see the comments or nothing like that. I was looking, but it's like my question to y'all or the people viewing, and you could answer me, or I would like to get an answer is, what is the cost of carrying pain in silence? I'm gonna say it again. What is the cost of carrying pain in silence? That's a topic that I want to address. And I don't think I'm going to address it today, because today is really not, today is not meant to be a topic carrying type of episode. Today is being just what it is. Me and you. Nobody else. I'm just having a simple conversation because I want y'all to get to know me. I'll tell y'all some of the things I've been through because I want you to feel comfortable about being able to share and feel and trust. That's another thing. Trust. And trust that you come somewhere, you share something that, is worthy. That's a big part about it. And let me backtrack a little bit, go a little bit further. Like I said, I'm a poet. And you know it. No, look, I'm a real poet. Like, I'm a real poet. I get out. I mean, and poetry became real to me for a minute. I was an emotional poet, and I didn't even know it. Like, I think when my grandmother died, and this was back in 19... my mother just talked about it. Wasn't 79, because now it was like 80, 1980? 1981. I'll be corrected, or I'll be in trouble for not being correct, but but I actually wrote a poem way back then, and I was maybe like 9. I was 9 years old. And I think my mother had framed it and said, boy, this is really good, And sometimes you do things and parents just tell you it's good. And doggone well, it wasn't good. That's like, some of y'all be like, oh, little Sam, you sure can rap. Sam can't rap at all. Don't even set Shorty up to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be like, oh, man, you girl, you can dance. She can't dance. But it's positive influence for the children. All I'm saying is, don't mislead the kids to thinking they can be something, thinking they something that they're not. Now, you might want to train them or teach them and give them some lessons to do something. But if they ain't good at it, man, stop playing. Don't force that on them kids, and then you got them out there looking all crazy. That ain't right. But anyway, I be tripping. But look. All right, so check it out. So I'm gonna get to the fact that my book, Beneath My Eyes. I wrote this book after I became a poet, and I said, well, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Well, inside the book is a lot of context. Everything in it, pretty much everything that I write is personal. Everything that I write is geared towards the experience in life that I actually went through or my emotional state at the time. So when you talk about what's beneath my eyes, if the eyes are the windows to my soul, then how deep are you really looking into my life? You know, and that's what that's sharing. And that's a part of where my healing began. That's a part of where my silence was broken. That's a part of how my truth is being told. A lot of individuals act out and tell their truth in different ways. Like I said, some people, they just do sports and they use it. Hold on, let me see. I think I got something here. Hey, Chuck. Oh, okay. Okay. Kayla Jones. Okay. Let me read this so y'all know I be messing people's names up. So don't get me wrong. Cal Jones, KALJOHNS 4162. I got it. You mentioned you wanted to get your father's approval. How do you think that happened? Oh no, I can't. If this thing would move. Okay, let me look at that. Okay. How do you think that helped or hindered you in poetry? Okay. Well, to get my father's approval poetically, I think that it helped me because I used that internal thought and I expressed it on paper. If that makes sense, because like when you're going through life and you really don't even know if you received the approval, because sometimes you got them fathers that like, you always hunting to find something that so you can really feel them say, hey, I love you. Or you can feel something come, and it's like they may be so hard that that's their way of loving you. Being hard is that way of saying, you know what, I love you enough to be hard on you to try to prepare you for what's coming on in society. So I really don't think it hindered me. It helped me. Poetry helped me explain these type of things or get my emotions out. Yeah, that I hope I answered the question. But yeah, my poetry, it helped me get my emotions out. And when you speak of it, because I don't even know if my father read my poetry before he passed. I don't know. But that wasn't for him. My writing was for me. That was my healing. So the irony in it is that, I have children and they may write or whatever. But when I write in my poetry, which I wanted to create legacy with it, that I put my feelings in there. So if my sons did read my books, they would know that I'm talking about them in certain instances, and that I'm writing it, and I'll let them know I love them. I love you, and I'll tell them that too. Whether we agree or disagree, whether we have commonalities or uncommonalities, my children are my children, and I'm still gonna love them. I don't gotta like what they do. I don't gotta like their actions. Sometimes you ain't gotta speak to me. But one thing is for certain, Just as you were made, you gave birth was given to you. That was through me, through God. So you're still my son. So I'm gonna love you irregardless. And that's a part of my development when it comes to my poetry. I learned to think and look at situations and try to be more, I would say more empathetic, if that's what you want to use the word. No, not empathetic. I wanna look at things from a broader perspective. I want to look at it from everybody's avenue, because sometimes you're not seeing it all. And that's a good thing, because when you don't see it all, you tend to make a misjudgment, or you make a mistake in your judgment. And those mistakes in your judgment may or may not create a rift in where you're going. So, with that being said, I tell y'all what. We talked about poetry. We talked about me. I'm gonna talk about y'all. No, I ain't gonna talk about you. I'm gonna talk with you. But in the meantime, I'm gonna give y'all something that I would like for people to. You can play it back, listen to it, go back and play it again, and I might even I'm gonna discuss it later on in another segment. But this is, I ain't gonna say something signature to me, but it meant a whole lot at this time. Okay, so I wrote something. It's called Reflection. And a lot of people don't understand it or didn't understand it. So I'm gonna give it to you and see who will understand. And you can put it in your own words or you figure it out, but come back to me, hit me up, let me know what you got. You ready? All right, Reflection. I'll get myself in form. Says, the dew have not yet lifted, and clouds block the sun, but light still shines. On the other side of the windows, I see red. Only to open my eyes wide enough for the obstructions to fade into the murky air, thick and above swampy lands left by late night rains. I cried. I'm gonna say it again. My eyes opened wide enough to see red, and I cried. Y'all like that, huh? No, I ain't. I was gonna go real deep, right? But like that's just a smidget of on the top of it. It's a whole piece though. And when I get into the whole piece, it's like cinematic kind of sort of. And I wrote this piece one day. I think I was locked up. I was looking out the window, right? And it was a rainy day. And I'm like, what's really going on? So I said, the dew is not yet lifted and clouds block the sun. The light shines through the windows. On the other side of my eyelids, I see red. Only to open them wide enough for the obstructions to fade into the murky air, mixed with obvious pollution and daily smog, thick and above the swampy lands left by late night rain. See, I cried. And the worms will surface to saturate their skin, not having to borrow through compacted dirt that was once dry, and still waters created lakes for tadpoles to live in deceptive lives. But these lakes were lies, just puddles magnified by infant eyes. And by the end of the day, these lakes will waste away, and the worms will succumb to the pavement heat, and some will be trampled beneath unyielding feet. See, while smog and pollution shortens my breath, I watch short-term things waste away. See, I rose this morning, but am I okay? Am I okay because I was blessed with continued life, yet life is not living at all? Just being able to see what I breathe. Greenhouse gases and industrial toxins grasping inanimate objects born from thoughts, giving animation, motion on screens of flesh. An organic substance draining the life from aging, picturesque enigmas embalmed with a universal essence I seek. See, I rose this morning, but am I okay? Am I okay? And that's the question that we tend to ask each other, or we ask ourselves on any given day. So I want to say, am I okay? Are you okay? And if you're not, you will be okay. And we can talk about it. So again, this has been me, Charles Ellis, on the Unspoken Voices Podcast. Please stay tuned, subscribe, check in with me. Let's talk about things. And let's elevate each other. I'm signing out. Hold on. I'm not going to sign all the way out. Hold on. I got something for y'all. Let me see if I can find this thing. Now, y'all know I'm trying to make sure it's right. So let me see. I had something to give y'all. So I really don't know where it's at. I was getting ready to leave out of here. Let me figure. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm in here. I'm in my stream. No, I really want to get my outro together. Bear with me, y'all, because I'm trying to make this thing right. I'm trying to get my outro together, and it's not working. This is where I need the moderators and stuff like that. I'll be learning. We trying to learn different stuff. So let me see. I don't know. But maybe I'll have it together by next time. Love y'all.
This has been the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. So remember, your voice matters, your pain has purpose, and your story deserves to be heard.
So until next time,
Stay connected,
stay encouraged.
and know that your voice is never alone.